All right, here it is, October 9th, and it is another episode of Let There Be Talk. Let me get a little dial up some adjustments here, my friends. Yeah. Anyway, I'm kind of out of it. I'm fried. I am just back from PowerTrip, which was the metal festival out in the desert, out there in the Coachella area. We've been talking about it for months. A lot of people have. There's a lot of controversy over the festival for months. Oh, the ticket prices were too high, all kinds of shit. But at the end of the day, this thing was absolutely next level. My experience on it was unreal. Before I jump into that, I just want to say thank you, everybody, for tuning in, and I hope to see you out at some of my shows coming up. I will be in Colorado Springs, October 20th and 21st, some headlining shows at the Funny Pages, and then Irvine Improv, December 20th. These are the headlining dates, and then a bunch of great dates with my man Bill Burr coming up from, what is that? I think it's like November 6th all the way up to the Madison Square Garden. And then closing out the year with Bill at Formula One MGM Arena in Vegas, November 17th, I believe it is. So dates are on deandelray.com. Thank you for joining me here. And I don't know, did you go to PowerTrip? Did anybody go to PowerTrip? I do see a lot of people that like to jump in and complain about stuff that had no intention on going at all. And it seems like there's this world geared around everybody loves negative energy, and that's how you get your algorithm going and all that. I've been told that many times. I don't really like negative energy. It's just it just feels like a fucking cancer planter box, so it just comes into your feed. Hey, fuck your glasses, and then people start battling. Hey, fuck you and all this. And I don't know what it is. Do you leave the fucking negative energy in there and let people attack? It seems like the world is just collapsing with the negative energy. And that being said, I couldn't even tell you, and I had no idea how much I needed to go out to the desert and see some of the bands that just absolutely changed my life when I was a young man and pretty much molded me who I am, for better or worse. People out there, you fucking metalhead, or you Hesher, you're growing up just hearing idiotic people. And I don't know. I am happy that one of the first concerts I ever saw was AC/DC, Cheap Trick, Journey, Blue Oyster Cult, Ted Nugent. That pretty much opened my eyes to just like, wow. I'm not like a smart dude. I don't have like skills. Like I can't be a mechanic. I can do shit, but as soon as I saw that, I thought, there it is. That's what I want to do. And it was never about, let's try to do that and get famous. It was just like, that looks like something that definitely resonates with me. Getting on stage and playing some rock and roll, and also comedy, of course, comedy being, full force with me now. And I love doing comedy more than I ever did music, which is even weirder to think about. So it is amazing to go out to the desert and see some bands that just have been in my life since I was, 12 years old. AC/DC, Judas Priest. I first start rocking them around the Hellbent for Leather, around that record, I guess. and then who else? Then Metallica, who's on there, I think 42nd year. Just unreal. And then Tool really kickstarted me when they first come out as seeing something totally outside the box. And then GNR. I didn't go see GNR, but GNR was just a game changer in my life back in 1987, 88. First seeing them, going like, what the hell? This is just straight up outlaw. And then the Mighty Maiden. Seeing Maiden all the way back on the Number of the Beast tour. I did not see them with Paul Di'Anno, but my band did open for Paul Di'Anno when he left Maiden. It was so weird. He leaves Maiden and then has a band called Paul Di'Anno's Battle Zone, and I end up opening for him in San Francisco at the Stone. But to see these bands and to think about how long I've been seeing these bands was really mind-boggling. And it was almost like this, as cheesy as this sounds, kind of a spiritual moment out in one of my favorite areas on earth, out in the desert, out there in Coachella. I love Palm Springs. I love Joshua Tree. I love it out there. And to be standing out there, still alive, next to some of my oldest and best friends and newer friends, all bonding over music and our love of music, it was really it just, wow, it felt amazing to be out there and just to see these bands and take it all in and start to take in my own life, of like, holy shit, these guys have been around. I mean, AC/DC, first of all, who played the PowerTrip and hadn't played in 7 years. And we all know how much this band means to me. And just completely changed my life. To just have them on. I think that this festival, it was tough to tell, but it might have been about 80% AC/DC people from around the world, because Metallica are massive, but they were just here about a month ago, and they did 2 nights at the SoFi Stadium where the Rams and the Chargers play. 2 fucking nights. And then Guns N' Roses has been playing like crazy for the last 7 years. And then who else? Maiden was here a while ago. So those bands have been playing. But AC/DC, there was just this thing of like, are they ever going to play again? Last they played, Axl finished out the last 6, 7 shows. And it was pretty much seemed like it might have been done. Brian was out. Cliff Williams was retiring, and Phil Rudd was going to jail, it looked like, for hiring a contract murder or whatever. And he might have been whipped up on some methamphetamine, allegedly. I don't know. It was just like this band. It sounded like you were looking at a guy who was in a band in his 20s. But here he is way late in his life and just crazy shit. Anyway, my point is, it looked like they were done. Then we kind of know what happened. If you listen to this show, I had them on the podcast. They got together at Malcolm's funeral, talked to each other. Let's go in and do a record, Angus said. They had some old tracks in the can and fired them all up and put up Power Up record. And then they couldn't tour because of COVID. And that was basically the last 7 years here of AC/DC. Now, next year is AC/DC's 50-year anniversary. So everybody was like, well, are they going to tour? Are they going to do something on their 50th? And to the nature of the great AC/DC, totally mysterious, not saying fucking anything. Nobody knows nothing. Then they drop the PowerTrip lineup, and there it is, AC/DC. Originally, Sabbath or Ozzy was supposed to be on. Sabbath was asked to do it. Tony Iommi said, I don't think Ozzy's able to do it. He passes on it. Then Ozzy takes it solo and, of course, cancels and Priest gets in there. So for AC/DC to announce they're going to play somewhere, this is a global following, AC/DC. It is amazing. You could be at an AC/DC show, not just your average show. If they were touring all the time, but I'm talking about one AC/DC show, the entire AC/DC army is just going to come out from Brazil, Canada, Japan, New York, Ecuador, all over. Like when I did the opening for Metallica on their 40th anniversary, there are people from all around the world. When it's something special, the true fans fire up the fucking airplanes and head out. So, of course, I did talk about it about 3 or 4 weeks ago. Am I going to go see AC/DC? I don't know. I don't really want to be let down, because the last time I saw them was at the MGM Arena on the last tour, and they were so fucking great. I was like, I don't know. But deep inside, I knew I was going to go. This is one of the greatest bands of all time to me. But you're looking at guys that are 76, 77 years old. Angus is 68. And, this music, this isn't like the Rolling Stones, okay? And also, the Rolling Stones, no matter what you think, like, oh, Keith, man, he parties, he gets crazy. No, man, he doesn't party. These guys have been keeping it together so they can do these stadium tours. And it's kind of some power chords, just some riffs. And they got a bunch of guys on stage. They got Bernard Fowler. They've got people singing backgrounds. They got people playing piano. They got people doing sax and horns. There's a whole army up there of younger people that are getting the sound together for the live show. With AC/DC, it is 5 guys playing on at least 110 dB. And they are playing like full on like hard rock, the hardest. It's not metal like Metallica, but stuff like Let There Be Rock that can run about 13, 14 minutes. That is pretty taxing on somebody like a Cliff Williams, who's just over there standing there, just hitting the bass, do, 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 for 13 minutes. I'm 57 right now, and just standing out there at the concert for 2 days. This podcast is late right now because I was tore up, and I'm only 57. I can't imagine. I talked about it before. I do the Bon Scott tribute, and it's one of the hardest things to do mentally and physically because you're around full blast rock. And you also got to perform and, give a show. So for those guys to fire up the machine and come out, it is a big deal. So I had to go, and I wanted to go. Once I realized I didn't have any comedy booked, because I don't like to cancel any shows to go see a show. I'm at the point in my life. That doesn't make sense for me to cancel a show to go see someone else's show. It's just not going to happen. Not these days. So I head out, me and my buddy Rockline Greg, we head out to the desert. One of my oldest friends, Mr. Bill Fold, is one of the deep guys behind the scene and one of the creators and just a solid old school friend. So he sent me out the package, got some wristbands. I'm in the pit. Now that was the big thing. People were talking about the tickets. The tickets are way too much money. These things are $2,500. There was the $680 general admission. And looking at the layout, if I was going, no matter what, I wouldn't go anywhere except the pit. Now, there were some complaints from some people that were telling me, well, I spent all this money. I'm in these seats. They're way too fucking far away. Well, if I'm going to see hard rock or metal, I'm going to just get into the pit area because that's just what you do. If I'm going to see the Eagles, I'm going to get some seats. I'm going to sit down and just chill and watch the screens. That's what these festivals are. I was talking to my buddy at the show, and he goes, well, look, let's all admit festivals and giant stadiums are absolutely probably the worst place to see a concert just for the concert. And I realized that I'm going for a lot of it is for the hang, to see old friends, because you get to an age where you don't really see any friends anymore because everybody's fucking dealing with life. So if you can pick a weekend and everybody happens to be going, that over any music is the gold for me these days, just to be able to hang out with some friends and enjoy some time away from the fucking noise in my brain. So the pit it went like this. It went pit, which I can't tell you how many people were in there, but it wasn't uncomfortable. I didn't think it was uncomfortable at all. It was you had a good amount of little space there. Yeah. Fuck, dude. When I was going to shows back in the day, you were like this, shoulder to shoulder with somebody else. You were just like, I was short. Sometimes I'd be lifted off my feet. Like, what the fuck? And I mean, they would just cram these people in. So it was not that. Not at one time did I feel like, hey, man, this is fucking gross, And also, which was really weird to think about, just a couple of years ago, we weren't even doing concerts. And if you look at an aerial photo of the PowerTrip, it is insane how many people were out there. And just 2 years ago, we were not doing concerts at all. So it was beautiful to see that. Also kept thinking about was how cool it would be to do comedy out there, like a Dave Chappelle or Bill Burr and friends, and go out and just rock the desert with dick jokes. So it goes the pit. And then right behind it, there's a fence, and then, which I can't believe to this day, that people are just flying to this day. I mean, I can't believe today, as I'm thinking about it, that people weren't just jumping the fence. Back in my day, I would be like, oh, hey, as soon as the lights go out, I'm over the fence. The fence was only about 4 feet high. I would have been I mean, the audience for a metal show, they were fucking polite. They were polite. You had your fucking cigarette smokers out there. It's amazing how fucking gross cigarettes are, even outdoor. As soon as someone lights one, you're like, oh, God, gross. So I can't believe people did not jump this fucking fence just all out. So it went pit, then a small fence, and then a load of seats, ton of seats, and then a fence, and then some more seats, and then a fence, and then general admission. And then on each side, like a football stadium, were grandstands. And so it was like 2 sets of grandstands and then seats all the way back. And I will tell you this, yeah, the fucking seats were far. And, if I did spend a lot of money, I'd probably be like, how can I upgrade to the pit? But like I said, I'm always going to go for the pit if I'm buying tickets to a show, unless it's going to be the Sphere. That's how I have to say it every time. Because if it's going to be the Sphere, then I'm going to get in a seat and just fucking take the ride, take a look out there. So, that was the first thing. I got a lot of people were complaining. Not a lot of people, just some people were texting me going like, fuck, man, the fucking parking's far away. I don't know what festival you've been to where the parking wasn't far away and you didn't have to do some kind of walking. And I do know a lot of people are just way the fuck out of shape And if they have to walk even 4 or 5 blocks, they're like, this is bullshit, which is crazy. Which, by the way, I wanted to give a fuck you to this guy who brought his dog out there. I don't care if it's your service dog or whatever. I can tell you weren't blind, and there was nothing going on with you that I could tell that you needed that dog. But this poor fucking beautiful dog was getting pummeled by 120 dB of nonstop fucking metal and fireworks. 2 things bands hate, dogs hate: loud music and fireworks. I felt so awful for that dog. I was like, God damn, that is just cruel. It is cruel. Get some headphones for that dog or something, or fuck. Anyway, I just had to throw that out there because it was just bumming me out for a minute. I was all soft and old out there. I was like, oh, what are you doing, dude? Why do you got your dog out here? Look, I want Gertie there, but I know it's fucking loud metal and tons of people and dust and dirt. The dog's just down in there. Perfect weather, by the way, 102 during the day, which is god awful. But the shows weren't during the day. They started at 6:45. As soon as that sun came down, it was a clean 80 out. Beautiful. I've been to Coachella many times, and it is a weather fucking roulette. You spin in the wheel. It could be a sandstorm. It could be pouring rain, semi-desert monsoon. It could be lightning. It could be 114. I've been out there. It was 114 once. Or it could just be perfect with no wind, no sand, no dirt. This was perfect. I mean, perfect. The screens, the sound, the stage were unreal. Just the state-of-the-art screens these days are just the whole thing, man. It looked like 2 football fields wide of just screens that were just perfect. And the sound was great. I had a backstage kind of VIP lounge thing. I don't know if they sold that. It was called the Double Black Diamond. But if they did, my point is, buy everything. If you're going to go to a festival, look into it. Just be like, okay, is there any upgrade for parking? Yes, it's going to cost crazy money, but just pick one show. Like if I am an AC/DC freak, which I am, and they announce their plan, I'm skipping all the concerts for the year. And I'm buying this one super package. I know, working for the Stones for years, these people would buy these VIP travel packs, and they were deluxe. You had a bus that drove you right up to the venue. You had food. You got to go backstage in this kind of reserved area. You got a hotel. You got everything but your flight. So I would be like, okay, can you get the Double Black Diamond VIP lounge? I'm going there. I'll get in the pit. I'll buy the best parking there is. And, and just go. If you go on a shoestring, you got to just go and think this could be rotten, but I'm going to make the best of it. I'm going to throw a tent up and fry in my tent. There were people out there camping. I can't imagine being in a tent. It was 101 degrees. You're just in your tent. Oh my God. But I've done it. I did it back at the US Festival, 1983. Drove out there from San Francisco to the fucking all the way out there in no man's land in the desert to the US Festival. And I will tell you this. At a young age, I didn't give a fuck. The US Festival had zero shade, okay? It had stands here and there that had water and beer for sale, maybe some food here and there. It was just a straight up dirt fucking desert, a stage, and 105 degrees. Now, at fucking 57, would I do that? No. But as a young man with other friends, It was a memory that I will never fucking forget. And I talk about it like a goddamn robot, all the time. And what about the Yes Festival? And that's because it was epic. So there was young people out there. I saw a lot of young people into metal. And I know they're never going to forget this power trip because it fucking moved me. And if you're a young person and you went out camping, you got stories 10 years, 20 years from now. You're like, it was 101. I was frying in my tent, hungover from acid. Judas Priest opened up with fucking the Sentinel. You're going to get the set list wrong. Then they went into Love Bites. Like, no, they didn't. They played fucking Living After Midnight. That's the fucking memory and the beauty of festivals. And look, like I said, I am fucking old and I need the fucking deluxe treatment. And if I don't have it, I just don't go. And it's not like a diva thing. It's just like, oh no, I'm just too old. I did that shit, man. I mean, today I'm fucking fried. Like I said, from standing. But I'm so glad I went. Anyway, so I got there. Me and Greg got there. We parked, and it took us a minute to figure out where the fuck the parking was. We finally found it. We went in, and I had, a couple buddies had said that they were, not having a good time. And as soon as I got there, I saw so many people that were having a good time. And I was like, hey, how is it? People are like, this is fucking great. Dude, this is great. And I was like, oh, okay. I've been fucking hit by the bummer people. And I know. And I started thinking about it last night. I was talking to a guy and I said, oh, such and such said that it fucking sucked. And he goes, yeah, well, he's just that age where he's just cranky now. And if they don't have everything perfect for him, he's fucking furious. And I'm like, yeah, well, I know if you go to a festival and you're not in the right frame of mind, you're like, what am I fucking doing? Get away from me, you fucking asshole. Anyway, I got there and I skipped the Guns N' Roses Maiden Day. I said it before, I don't really need to see Maiden on the every other tour because they're going to play too much new stuff. And I love Maiden beyond. I cannot sit and watch Maiden play songs when I know that they have so many deep tracks from these classic records, all the way from the beginning, all the way up to Live After Death. There's so many tracks in those records that would make my head spin if they played them. And I get it. They're like, hey, we're not a fucking greatest hits machine. I get it. Cool. I don't need to go. That's what I'm saying. I don't need to see it. I saw Maiden a few years ago. Burr and I went, and they were doing the fucking super hits, and it was unreal. I saw Maiden about 7-8 years ago. They redid the Live After Death tour. It was unreal. I saw Maiden on the Number of the Beast tour. I saw them on all the tours after that. And I'm good on that. So I skipped the GNR Maiden Day. So Saturday was supposed to be, like I said, Ozzy and AC/DC, but we got Priest. Now, I'd seen Priest a while ago on the Firepower tour. I had Richie Faulkner on the show. Love the guy. Just a solid fucking human. But I saw Priest a few times, and I had Rob Halford on, and it was a dream guest to have Rob Halford on. One of the greatest metal singers of all time. First time I saw Priest was on the Point of Entry tour, and I will never, ever forget it. And I think it's one of the greatest live shows I ever saw. KK Downing on the Sinner, Green Manalishi. I mean, all of those fucking deep cuts, Exciter. Stand back from Exciter. Just fucking crazy. But I was like, well, I'll just check into the hotel and then I'll catch Priest half the set and then I'll get ready for AC/DC. We got there and Priest had already played 4 songs. I was pissed. I was walking in there playing the Sentinel and I was all of a sudden I was kind of getting fired up like, fuck, I should have got here right on time. But man, Priest, they fucking crushed. Scott Travis, that guy, I don't hear enough people talking about him on drums. He has just got the best fucking groove on double bass and shit. He's kind of from that Dave Lombardo camp of just swing with the double bass, just when they're playing Painkiller. It's just fucking, it just grooves. You're just sitting there like this. It's not that fucking math metal, you know, it's like it's just fucking groove. Halford killing it. But I gotta say, the giant star right now of Priest is Richie. The amount of fucking slaying he's doing on the guitar is so mind-boggling. He looks great. He almost fucking died a couple years ago or a year ago or whatever from his heart valve. I don't know, something happened to his heart. He almost died. And he's a friend of mine, and so is his wife. And man, just destroying up there. It's amazing when you don't know of somebody and they get put into this big shoes to fill type of gig of KK Downing, and they're like me when I get up there with like with Burr. You're like, well, I've already fucking, you know, I'm already winning by just being here. I'm gonna just go for it, and he's just going for it every night. And Andy was playing on the Glenn Tipton side, and he grew his hair out. He's looking a little more part of the band now. He's playing some Explorers. He's got the Strat with the reverse headstock, and I didn't mind him at all now, you know. And then of course Rob is just fucking Rob, you know. Just check this fucking set list. I mean, it's nuts when you look at these bands' set lists, how hard they were going for it. But, you know, Priest played Rapid Fire, which is Rapid Fire could be like early blueprint of thrash metal, man. It's just there. Anyway, they did, you know, it's funny. They did Turbo Lover. And when that came out, I remember that era. People were like, this is sucks. They got the fucking synth guitars. Now, I didn't mind Turbo Lover at all. But man, Turbo Lover without the synth guitars now and just fucking metal guitars, it'd be interesting to hear him go back and do some of those songs in the studio without the synth guitars, because fuck, Turbo Lover was just, it was crushing, man. It was fierce metal. Which, by the way, Priest announced a new record at the show. What is it? Invincible Shield. And it's coming out soon. And I'm kind of looking forward to hearing that. I got re-juiced up on the I mean, I've always loved fucking Priest. Come on. Screaming for Vengeance. Top 10 metal record of all time. But I've always loved him. But, you know, it's weird. It's like, I feel like it's like this podcast where people are like, oh, yeah, I'll listen to it when I listen to it. You know, it's been around. But, man, Sentinel they played, which is killer. They played Desert Plains, which is just a goddamn classic, especially out in the desert. Heading out on the highway, riding on the wind, man. I look at this right here, Electric Eye into Riding on the Wind, and I just think, right there, Us Festival, God, I got goosebumps. Us Festival flashback, 1983. And here I am, a million years later, back in the desert, watching them fucking just go for it again. Awesome. They killed. Then, of course, they split from the stage, and there's the anticipation. The wait is finally going to be over. AC/DC. Is Brian going to sound good? What's the drummer like? Who is the fucking drummer? He played on Alanis Morissette's Jagged Little Pill. He was in Slash's Snake Pit. You know, who is this guy? I've never heard of him, and I've been around for a little while. You know, what songs are they going to play? All of that. Just sitting out there. In the midst of thousands and thousands of those lit up devil horns, all in the audience, just fucking badass blinking. It finally happens. Fucking lights go down, me and Greg sitting there and fucking roll out and they open up with Shot Down in Flames. And it's just like, what the fuck? This is immediately like, hey, man, we mean some business here. Shot Down in Flames. Or no, If You Want Blood. The fuck am I talking about? They open with If You Want Blood. Shot Down in Flames is in the set. But that's the crazy, let you know right away. Oh, shit. Deep track off Highway to Hell. Opening. AC/DC, they always pick that one song that's like maybe a semi-hit. But If You Want Blood, bam, the crowd goes crazy. Then Back in Black, Demon Fire off of Power Up. Then Shot Down in Flames, like I said. Then Thunderstruck, which was one of the most biggest hits for AC/DC ever. And probably one of the most money-generating songs for commercials. That shit is all over commercials, man. Immediately, so there we are. We're the first 5 songs in. And I'm just taking it in. Whoa, Angus got gray hair. It's long. Angus had different hairdos all these times. He's had short hair. He's had long fucking hair. But there he is, man. Haven't seen him since I did the podcast with him. He's got the long gray hair. He looks fucking great. He's got the blue shorts on. No more moon flashing from Angus. I think he's like, hey, I'm 68. I don't need to show you my ass anymore. He didn't take his shirt all the way off anymore, which was interesting to see. Angus always would take his shirt all the way off. He just unbuttoned it, took the tie off, and pretty much played in just the white shirt and the shorts and multiple SGs. It took a while for the infamous Back in Black SG to come out, which is my favorite of all time. It's the black one with the full white pick guard. That's some guitar nerd shit there for you people. An SG custom that has the ebony fretboard and the diamond inlay. Should have had 3 pickups. I think they took the middle one out, put the full pick guard on. And then you start looking around. Okay, Brian, can he sing? Is he, what happened to his hearing and everything? He's pulling it off. He's up there. He's 76 as of Thursday. You can see he's like really like, yeah, God, kick out, And right away, you're like, well, can he do a whole tour for a 50-year? Now, I will tell you this. I have heard rumblings while I was out there that there is a tour booked, and it's going to be like a once-a-week type of stadiums, maybe 10 stadiums, and for the 50-year anniversary. That's what I heard, allegedly. And there's no way they're not going to tour. As I watched this last night, they're going to probably just do this one more run. I don't really see them able to do another run 2 years down the road. So this is a fact. If you've never seen AC/DC, don't ever say, I'll catch them next time. Because after watching this entire performance, which was 24 fucking songs, these guys delivered 12 Bon Scott songs, 12 Brian Johnson songs, 24 songs. I thought, okay, Angus and Brian, they're going to be able to do this for probably maybe 20 shows next year, 10 in the US, maybe 10 around, maybe end in Australia or something. But I don't know how long, how much longer Brian could do it. He was great, but it is a struggle to sing AC/DC. Like I said, me at 57, it is a struggle. Now, Matt, and I still don't know how to say his last name. Is it Luge? Matt, the drummer, was, like I said, with Richie Faulkner, Matt was the fucking man. He was the winner of the night back there. just full feel rud feel, perfect tempos, perfect. This is how you know a drummer is great, when you don't notice them. When you're not ever thinking about the drummer, that's when you know, oh, this guy's good. When you start thinking about the drummer, not in a Danny Carey way or, a Neil Peart, not in that way where that's what it is, or a Dave Lombardo where, yeah, you're getting the drum flashing. I'm talking a normal drummer. When you don't notice them, that's when you know the guy's killer, because the tempos are perfect, the feel's perfect, and you don't even know. You're just bobbing and grooving, going, this fucking band kills. And you don't even know why. It's because the fucking drummer is just invisible groove back there. And that's what he did. He came out, and this is when I knew I loved the guys playing. He played Hell's Bells, and it was the first time I had ever heard it, the proper tempo live. I posted it up, and somebody said, sounds a little slow to me. And it's like, yeah, that's because the way you've been hearing it is way too fast. And that specific tempo has to be right on Hell's Bells, or the groove is gone. I never loved Hell's Bells live because I always thought like they're playing it too fast. Hell's Bells is the top 5 AC/DC song for me. That is a large statement to say, but it is the top 5 AC/DC song for me, Hell's Bells. And when I heard the fucking perfect groove coming on, that's the fucking groove. And I was like, holy shit, he's fucking nailing it, man. Now, some people were making comments on the vocals. People make comments on vocals. All these people, oh, Axel can't sing, or Brian, oh, is he hitting the notes? It looks like he's fighting it or whatever. Look, man, this shit is so fucking hard. It's amazing. Like Hetfield is 60. That is 8 years younger than Angus, and he plays guitar. But that's fucking, what is that? 67. That's 16 years younger than Brian Johnson. 16 years is a lot. A lot. So, these guys are way up there. And they never thought they were going to be singing when they're 76 years old, Have a Drink on Me. There's just no way you think about life like that when you're in there recording songs. You're like, we could be gone tomorrow. I could be dead in a year. I'm going for it fucking today. And here he is at 76, coming back from the hearing damage and not singing for 7 years live. Maybe a couple songs, the Foo Fighters thing, a couple songs with a band in the UK I saw. But other than that, he hasn't, just singing. You got to fucking train, man. It's like boxing. Look at Tyson right now. I think Tyson could actually fight in a heavyweight championship. That guy's fucking still training and badass. Anyway, the set list could be for the Brian Johnson. First of all, they said it was the longest set he had ever done in his career. Could be the greatest Brian Johnson set list I've ever seen. Thunderstruck, like I said. Then they go to Have a Drink on Me. Now, I will tell you this. Matt was fantastic, but I will give you a couple songs that didn't work for me. I thought Have a Drink on Me was too slow for some reason. I don't know if they slowed it down because Matt nailed all the tempos. So I don't think it was something where he fucked up. I thought maybe they're just playing it slower. It didn't really work for me. And, Angus, there are some licks that could be tough faster. So maybe they slowed it down a little on purpose. I don't know. That did not work for me. But that's just nitpicking. Sounded like they tuned down a notch for Dirty Deeds. That didn't really work for me either. And then, as much as I love seeing Dog Eat Dog in the set list, it's not a song for Brian to sing. It's just we can get some more Brian songs in there. They didn't really touch anything off of Flick of the Switch. They didn't. And they only played one song off of For Those About to Rock. So I was thinking, look, we know we love the AC/DC Bon Scott era, but there's some fucking Brian era that is mind-boggling off a few records you're not touching, which is For Those About to Rock and Flick of the Switch. And Flick of the Switch, after all these years, is finally getting some full glory. So Dog Eat Dog did not work for me. And let's see, what else? Cliff Williams, just a fucking 10. Just a 10, how great Cliff Williams was. And okay, so those are some of the things I didn't think worked. Stiff Upper Lip, a lot of people love it. The drummer Matt recommended it. It's not my favorite, but I'm not going to complain. Sin City sounded great. Of course, Brian's been able to do that for years. I think the highlight of the night was Riff Raff, and of course, Let There Be Rock with the 13-minute Angus solo. And that's really where I could just really feel the drummer, Matt, just fucking solid. You know, these bands, they're going to have some younger players in the group if they're going to keep going. I'm starting to realize it now. Oh, yeah, get some younger guys in that can carry a lot of it and have the marquee dudes like Brian and Angus up front there. But, you know, the drumming is so fucking key in AC/DC. Everybody just thinks it's so simple, but it's not. Anyway, so AC/DC, I gotta say, I'm so fucking glad you've been in my life all these years. You basically probably you probably saved my life from just being a complete fucking lunatic by that day on the green in 1978, and me seeing Angus and going, okay, I want to play music, and Bon Scott out there in that vest with those tattoos. It was a game changer that day in September of 78. And I just got to say hats off and thank you. And it was an honor to be in the desert and see you. And I think congrats on the 50 years is in order. And I can't wait to see what tour you drop and what ideas that you're going to have for that. Next day, Tool, just had Justin on, fired up for Tool. I haven't seen Tool since the day Bowie died in San Diego. I went to go see Tool back then. And I remember leaving the gig. I talked about it. And Bowie had died that day. So I was ready for Tool. And I was going to take some mushrooms, but I rethought it because I was like, you know, I don't want to fuck up out here. What if it doesn't go good and then I don't enjoy the night after enjoying AC/DC and Judas Priest so much? And I didn't want to be a freak around my friends like, dude, fuck, I'm tripping. Take me over here, will you? You know? So Tool, you know, I was ready for Tool. It's funny, Tool is a band that either you dig it or you don't get it. I was talking to this guy. I go, dude, I can't wait to see Tool. And he's like, you a Tool guy? I go, oh yeah, fuck yeah. He's like, yeah, I never really got into it. I was like, yeah, well, it's not for everybody. And standing there watching them for 2 hours, I was jaw dropped. Like, I just can't even believe these four guys are making this incredible sound. And Adam has some of the best original guitar tone I've ever heard. Ever. Just that bouncy, weird dun 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 dun. Just so original. He's got the Marshall stack. He's got two diesel stacks, diesel amps, and there's his Silver Burst Les Paul, and he's playing a V. He's playing a V now, Gibson V with the split Gumby headstock. That's some more nerd shit there. But Maynard fucking up there with the glue-on mohawk, just killing it with his weird mystique and moves. Justin's bass tone. I feel sorry for whoever lived in the 10-mile radius of PowerTrip because they were definitely getting full Justin, just full fucking bass juggernaut. And then, of course, Danny killing it. Tool absolutely crushed it. The highlight of the night, Stinkfist, of course. Just unreal. Their set list, a lot from the new record, which is cool. I get it. And they played Swamp Song from the Undertow record, which is wild. I don't even think I've ever seen them play that. They never really touch much on the Undertow record. Brandon, one of the friends of the Patreon, one of the Patreoners, he said that he thought Undertow was an almost. I don't agree with that. I think Undertow is a goddamn original masterpiece of metal for the time when it came out. It was like them and Helmet. Helmet was doing shit no one was doing. Same with Tool. And the videos from that with the claymation, just unbelievable. Anyway, Tool just killing it, man. The Pot, Invincible, setlist was fucking pretty good and real dense. Real dense, man. The fucking stage was dark. They had crazy video up there. Just like exactly what you expect from Tool. Just this is going to be a great tour the next month or two that they're out. Go see Tool. Oh my God. And then, of course, it closes out the night with a band that pretty much became my favorite band somewhere around the 30-year anniversary when I was sitting in the Fillmore one night and I was watching them celebrate 30 years. That was 12 years ago. And I sat there and went, you know what? This is pretty much my favorite band. AC/DC, of course, up there. Prince, up there. But Metallica, just being those Bay Area, heroes and just showing everybody how it was done all these years. And at the last minute, I got a text, where are you at? My buddy got me the Snake Pit. Me and Greg headed in the Snake Pit, ran into the great Chris Robinson and talked to Chris. I talked to Chris for a while, posted a photo. People are like, you got him on the you got him on the podcast, right? He's going to do the podcast. At some point, it's weird where I go through these emotions of like, well, Chris Robinson, to me, has been one of the greatest rock singers of all time for me. At the same time, there's been this weird thing with Chris where it's just kind of on and off. You're just kind of like, well, is he cool or is he kind of fucking, I don't know. So he was fucking in a great mood. He was there with his wife and very approachable. I said, hey, man, I just reintroduced myself. I always feel weird. Like, hey, Dean Del Rey, with this, that. And he's, oh, yeah. I could tell he doesn't fucking know. And I finally said, hey, man, I'd love to have you on the podcast. I've been trying to get you on 12 years. He goes, have you been trying that hard? I mean, like, I haven't heard anything. I was like, I don't know how to get a hold of you. I asked your brother. He goes, oh, okay. But, hands down, Chris is one of my favorite singers of all time. And Amorica, Three Snakes, and Southern Harmony are just, they've been played as much as Back in Black and Master of Puppets and Highway to Hell and Prince's Sign of the Times at my house. It was great to talk to him, and he was just there just having an incredible time. He was there all weekend, rocking out, having fun. I watched him at times and I envied him. He's an old soul and he did not look at his phone, or maybe once he'd look at his phone, but he wasn't on his phone. He smoked a little fucking reefer, rock out and just smile and he's digging it, him and his lady. And I was like, man, I wish I could get to that level of, I don't know, just, I don't need my phone thing, but then again, I like to have my phone for memories and put shit out. And my brain's not even that, my memory is not even that fucking good. So I'm always like, oh, fuck, I did that. I forgot. But I always do feel weird when I asked somebody, I asked him a couple years ago to do the podcast. He's like, oh, yeah. And just when they give you an, oh, yeah, they're not into it. So it gets to this weird point where if you're famous, your podcast's huge, people just do it. They don't give a fuck if the show's good or who you are. They need to generate some press for the project they're working on. And you kind of want to be at this level where the show's cool and people just do it because it's cool. So it's that weird thing where you're like pandering, like, well, I said, I had your brother on. He goes, oh, yeah, well, I don't know if I want to do it now. He was just joking, but it was funny. I was like, oh, shit. Anyway, I got into the Snake Pit. There's about 100 people. The Snake Pit really reminded me of my mom because I'd taken my mom to see Metallica in the Snake Pit back in the Black Album era. And it really grabbed me for a minute. I walked in there. I was like, oh, my mom was in the Snake Pit. She was floored. You bring your mom to the Snake Pit. It's fucking, which by the way, shout out to Tom Morello's mom, just turned 100. Beautiful. Jack Black came over there and sang some Sabbath while Morello's son was killing it on guitar. What a great fucking, congrats to Morello's mom. Ruth, I think is her name. Ruth. I don't know if my brain's working. Fuck, I might have nailed it. But I'm in the Snake Pit, and every time I see Metallica, I get so fucking so emotional because I'm just like, many memories just flying the whole fucking time, man. It is wild. And Kirk Hammett, one of the greatest guests on Let There Be Talk, and one of my favorite days ever. And just Hetfield, I want to say this, Hetfield is an inspiration to me. He just looks dynamite right now. He looks happy. His body is in perfect shape. His voice is sounding great. His right hand is just as fast as it was when I saw him, the first couple years of the band. Just it's just on fucking real. Hetfield, look, the whole band is great, but Hetfield right now is firing on another fucking level. And it's that level of divorce, freedom. Let's go play metal. I'm happy to be alive. I'm happy to have fucking billions of fans. I'm going to just enjoy my life. He looked great. Kick-ass haircut, great clothes. Unreal playing that old V. Opening with Whiplash, Creeping Death, For Whom the Bells Toll, Sandman, Lux Eterna. I love all the new stuff too, man. On 72 Seasons, man. They busted it out there. The highlight of the night, believe it or not, it really blew me away, and it blew away a couple people around me, was The Day That Never Comes. That was a track that came out a few records ago. Was that like 7-minute, 6-minute single they put out? It started out slow and then got all metal. Just a fucking kick-ass song. I remember my buddy Shawnee was standing next to me and he goes, "This is such a great song." And to say that on a track way deep in Metallica's career is just great to be able to say that. Anyway, that was the highlight of the night to me. They almost looked like Blue Oyster Cult up there. They got all three of them got lined up, Rob, James, Kirk, and just up there, just doing that weird mid jam on The Day That Never Comes. And it was the song of the night for me, which was fucking wild. It was fantastic. The entire Metallica set, I would have to say, you can't fuck with Metallica. They've been on the road now for a year, and they are a well-oiled machine. They sounded so fucking good. Look, GNR, they've been out like 7 years, and I didn't see their set, but, they've been out a long time, and that could be that could be a little burnt. I don't know. Maiden, they're on and off, but Metallica has just been playing these double night stadium gigs with different set lists, and they're fucking, they have got it perfected. The sound, the moves. I'm watching them, man. They are so, it's crazy to watch them and see like signals, just kind of like Hetfield looking around. Okay. And he's like, okay, Kirk Hammett's over there. There's a spot over here where there's no one. I'm moving over here to get this part of the audience going. And it's not like cues, like they're not going like, hey, you over there. I can just see these guys. They understand. No one's over here. I'm going to go take this fucking pocket over here. And it is just incredible. And I got to give hats off to Rob. Rob has really kind of come into it finally. He's not wearing the fucking shorts anymore and the basketball jerseys and stuff. He's got the hair. It's not in the braids. It's not he's got the long hair. He's wearing some kind of cool suit pants, a black t-shirt, and just laying it down, killing it on Orion. They played Orion. That was my second favorite of the night. Whenever that tune comes, it's like fucking bring it on. But he was killing it. Somebody had a Cliff Burton, the action figure, the little action figure. It was beautiful. I'm going to post a photo of it. They had it sitting on the stage in the snake pit for the entire show. And I was like, I was rocking, right? And then I looked down and I go, oh, God, Cliff Burton. That is so cool. Cliff Burton's here, And it was a magic. To be in the snake pit after all these years and just to be able to watch Metallica in the snake pit with just like, just room and just really getting into it. Look, can you tell I had a good time? Yeah, I had a fucking good time. Did I have great credentials? Yes, I did. But like I said, if you're going to go to a festival, do some investigating, talk to some people that have been and go, hey, where's the best to stay? Where's a great hotel? Where's the good food? Where should I sit? How is the park? Get it all out. Or just go and fucking freestyle it and just whatever happens. Like, God, that sucked. Or, God, that was great. Whatever. I don't know, man. I'm pretty fucking fried. I got to tell you, I'm fried. I'm glad I didn't do any mushrooms because I was already burnt. And I got to get ready for a week of shows. And I'm just kind of like, whew, man, I'm old. I'm sit down at a concert years old. That's how old I am. I'm ready for Nick Cave, sitting in a theater, just kicking back, watching this guy kill it. Thank you, Metallica, Judas Priest, Tool, and who am I missing? I'm fucking out of it right now. AC/DC. You fucking dummy. So dumb. Thank you for the great fucking weekend and the years of great music. And thank you guys for tuning in. I hope you enjoyed my little power trip rundown. And I will tell you this, when AC/DC drops those tickets, get some and go see them because You don't want to be that guy, like I said. Oh, GNR, they dropped 2 days at Hollywood Bowl, November 1 and 2. That's pretty prestigious. In the tour at the Hollywood Bowl. Pretty fucking cool. Right down the street from where they fucking started. Whiskey A Go-Go, the Roxy, the Troubadour. Right down the street. Scream. All the clubs. There they are, closing it out at the Hollywood Bowl. Pretty fucking cool. All right, I love you guys. Join the Patreon, DeanDaleRay.com. Is the tour dates and the merch. Patreon.com/DeanDaleRay for bonus episodes. And thank you so much for your support. Hope to see you out there. Keep the candles lit, my friends, and see you soon.